What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Mo Money School, the school that teaches you everything that the school system didn't teach you. I'm your host, Chris Mo. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the notification button. That way you're notified whenever I post up a new video. That way you're informed with everything that society should have taught us. If you're new to the channel, congratulations, because today is your lucky day. For today's channel, we're actually going to be talking about a really great topic which I like to talk about all the time, and that is meeting your teacher. Who's your teacher? I am. So for today's video, I'm going to be interviewing myself using the 5 W's: who, what, where, why, and when. These questions are going to help inform you about myself, my past, my channel, what I plan on doing with this channel in the future, what I plan on talking about. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to make sure that you guys know a little bit about me. That way you feel the connection. I want to make sure that we feel the connection, because this isn't just some channel that I want everybody to just skim over. I want to make sure that we feel a connection, because I feel that there's people exactly like me who are going through the same things about money, business, and just self-improvement, that I want to go ahead and talk about these topics. That way we all come into a conclusion and realize and come down to what is actually the truth in the world. So without further ado, let's get started. So for the first W, who am I? Well, my name is Christopher Morales. I'm 23 years old. I live in Burbank, California. I'm an independent contractor in the home improvement industry. I basically help run a construction company in the greater Los Angeles area. I mostly deal with residential homes, doing upgrades when it comes to exterior work such as roofs, exterior paint, windows, things like that. Now for the second W, where am I from? Well, even though I live in Burbank, California, I actually grew up in South Central Los Angeles. Yes, South Central Los Angeles. So it's funny to me because a lot of people, when they think of LA, they think about Hollywood, Beverly Hills, celebrities, movie stars, and all these great things that they show us on TV, movies, and all these other places, right? But that's not the way I see LA. You see, the part of LA that I grew up is not those places. It's not those places where you see the Ferraris and Lamborghinis. No. It's completely different. So my type of LA is similar to movies like Don't Be a Menace in South Central LA while drinking your juice, and Friday, and there's another movie I think it's called like East LA, or Living in East LA, something like that. But South Central LA to me is basically the hood part of LA. You see, majority of people who grow up in South Central LA, it's usually the minorities, usually the poor, people who are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck. And in reality, it's usually where homeless people all really live. It's high in crime, as the whole entire world knows it. It's known for LA riots and all these crazy things like Compton, NWA, all these bad things that people associate with. And yeah, I grew up around that stuff. So growing up, I didn't have the best childhood. So a lot of times I had to learn everything by myself the hard way. And unfortunately, it wasn't just living in the hood. I'm also a minority. I'm Mexican, so I speak 2 languages. I speak English and Spanish, but I was actually born here in Los Angeles, so I'm a Native American, in other words. I do have a single mother who's Mexican, and then I have a dad who's also Mexican, unfortunately with my dad, he's been missing since I was 3 years old. Not missing, he's actually been in prison since I was 3 years old, and there's a whole story to that as well. So I was raised by a single mother. I have a younger brother who's currently in the Marines. He's 1 year younger than me, and we both grew up in the hood. We went to the same middle schools in South Central LA, and even from middle school, they don't teach us anything. And that's where all of this really started, from middle school. Going to the middle school that I went to, it was filled with drugs, gangs, people who didn't want to be there, people skipping schools, all these really bad things that, people talk about that is actually really true. And unless you live there and experience those things, it's a whole different world. So since middle school, I've had to struggle all the way into even high school. Fortunately for me, I didn't go to the same high school that majority of my friends from middle school went to, which was actually a blessing because I had the opportunity to go to a magnet school, which was still kind of in the hood, but wasn't really hood. So I had a little bit better education compared to a lot of my other friends who still stayed in the hood. So in other words, South Central LA is not the prettiest of places. It is the hood. People are sad there. And that's the horrible thing about South Central LA. There's a lot of people who have just missed dreams, who give up hope, and it's just because we started from the bottom, and a lot of people are just trying to get out, make it out, and it's really, really hard. And I understood that from the very beginning. So at 17 years old, I actually had the opportunity to get out of the hood. I managed to do that because I got accepted to go to college. So I decided to go to Cal State University Northridge, and it was actually a struggle from the very beginning because I had to run away from my house because my mom was being a mom and she didn't want me to leave from home. On top of that, I wasn't really the best kid. I was always going down since I was 14. I was around drugs. I was around bad people that you shouldn't really be around with, but that's just the environment that you grow up. I didn't do any like horrible crimes, at least to what I think. I wasn't the best child, and my mom knew that, so she always tried to keep me inside. And then one day I just got to a level where she just had enough, and she took everything away from me. And I knew that the only way out of the hood is to go to college. So when nobody was home, I just grabbed all my things and I left to college, and I was done. So I had nothing but just the clothes on my back and the fact that I was a little bit smart, and I applied to go to the dorms, and I lived my whole college experience. You know, through that whole entire college experience, I was broke, working multiple jobs, just trying to survive college. But believe it or not, I graduated. I graduated last year with an economics degree in business. So congratulations to me. But throughout that entire time, I was struggling financially, mentally, and I just didn't know where to go. And society wasn't helping me. Everything that I learned in school was useless. And it wasn't until I learned that self-education and all these great people that I found on YouTube and all over the world were sharing knowledge that was way more important than what I found in school. So once I really dedicated myself to self-education, I learned so much, and I learned from all of my mistakes. I became a learning machine, in other words. I was so obsessed with self-improvement, finance, business, and all these great things, which led me to get out of debt, move out of the hood, find my own place, and be in a career that I actually want to be in, which leads me to where I am today. Which I said before, I live in Burbank. If many of you guys even Google Burbank, Burbank is the media capital of LA. This is actually where Hollywood movies are made, not Hollywood down the street where everybody thinks Hollywood movies are made. No, it's here in Burbank. So Burbank is beautiful. I love it. And it's a completely different environment compared to where I grew up. In other words, I feel like I'm living my best life. Everything that's ever happened to me has just led me to where I am today. And I couldn't wish for anything more because this feels like a blessing. Why am I doing this? The reason why I'm doing all of this is because I don't want people to struggle like me. I don't want them to go ahead and go debt. I don't want people to go broke where they don't have enough food to feed themselves, where they run up their credit cards to their limits twice and try to figure out how to get out of debt. Because just a couple of months ago, I was $20,000 in debt. I didn't know how I was gonna pay my rent. Financing was confusing to me. I didn't understand how the world works, what I was gonna do after graduation. And I was really in a lost world, in a lost mind. And it took me a while to get to where I am. But nonetheless, I mean, it was a beautiful struggle because it got me to where I am today. There were some lessons that I wish I could have avoided if there was somebody there to actually teach me everything that I should have already learned when I was a lot smaller. Like many people, such as myself, who grow up with a single mother, you know, have no dad, have no future role model in their family, there's nobody really there to teach us all of that. So the only way that we learn is through the School of Hard Knocks. So not only did I graduate from CSUN, I actually graduated from the School of Hard Knocks. And like many people, it's the best school to teach us what life is really about. And I know for a fact that I'm not the only one that feels that way. And I know for a fact that there's people exactly like me to this day, and there's gonna be people in the future with the same exact same struggles, where you don't know about credit, where you don't know what's going on with college, where you don't know how to mentally fix yourself, or you don't know anything about how the world works. And that's why I wanna make this channel, to teach people everything that the school system should have taught us, everything that makes life a lot easier to learn, to be more aware of all of our surroundings and how the world actually works. Because the world, it's a scary place. And fortunately now, with the technology that we have, I see no excuse of why we can't teach people, either today or in the future, the struggles and circumstances that they may face in the future. And hopefully this video and hopefully this channel can help people with the same background as me understand what they shouldn't do, what they should expect out of the world, and how they can achieve the good life. And I believe everybody wants to live the good life. The good life, which is being successful in your health, wealth, love, and happiness factors. Because without each of these 4 things, we're not really happy in life. And it's not about being the richest in the world. It's none of that. It's not about being the coolest and the most popular, or it's not about being the healthiest. It's all these, it's a combination of all these 4 working together to give you the best life. And that's what I feel I have to this day. And that's why I believe that I have some type of credibility to this day, because I feel like I'm living the good life. I'm in a career where I love what I do every single day. I'm in the best shape of my life. I have the best relationship with everyone in my family, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. And the world is just this magical place that I feel that I can do anything I ever wanted to. And that's what I want to share with people, and that's what I want to get people to. I want to make sure that you get to the same level that I am, especially if you came from the same background as me. So in other words, this is just my way of giving back to society and future kids who are struggling with the same struggles that I once faced. Next, what can I teach you? Some of you guys might be thinking, oh, he's only 23 years old. How much of life has he really experienced? But believe it or not, I've been living life since I was 3 years old, when I knew that I had to step up to the plate because my dad wasn't there. I feel personally like many others who come from similar backgrounds, and growing up at an early age, you experience so many things that a lot of people who don't have the same backgrounds as you don't really experience, because you have to become an adult a lot earlier. You have to gain responsibility a lot earlier. And I've helped dozens of people be comfortable with themselves, learn how to get a job, learn how to build a career, how to build a brand, and learn how to be happy in the world. And that's what I'm able to teach. Not only that, but I have all these books that I've learned from. So I'm a hard believer in self-education. So I don't know about you guys, but it's the same thing as working out. You know, if somebody has the body, then I'm sure that person knows something about working out, right? Same thing with like knowledge. If somebody's read all these books, I'm sure that person knows something, right? And that's where my self-education comes into play. And that's what I want to teach people. I want to teach people everything that I've read, everything that I've experienced. And not only that, I love business. I graduated with an economics degree, so I must know something about business. I help run a construction company. You know, I'm a very important piece to that construction company. If it wasn't for me and a lot of my other coworkers, this construction company wouldn't be where it's at today. You know, I know a little bit about business and how it works, and I love business. I love learning about companies. I love learning about technology, and I love talking about it. Business is what keeps our world going. You know, companies inventing new things, and I want to keep talking about that. Not only that, but I also want to be talking about the good life. How we can improve our factors, health, wealth, love, and happiness factors, to make sure that we all get to the good life. I'm teaching what's real. I have struggled similar to everyone else who grew up in the hood, raised by a single parent, no mentors to teach them anything, and being the first person to graduate from college. You know, all that stuff is hard. And I don't wish any harm on anybody. I want to make sure that we all live in a world where everyone's equal. And I know life is unfair, but it shouldn't be that way. I want to make sure that we're able to level up the balance field for everyone. And that's what this whole channel is about. It's picking everyone from the bottom up to the level that they're supposed to be at, the level that they want to be at. So lastly, the last of you, when? When am I going to be posting? starting next year, I'm gonna have a lot more workload in my career, so I won't be able to post as much, but I really want to take this seriously. So I've dedicated myself to be posting once a week every Tuesday on this channel. And when I'm not posting on this channel, I'll be posting on Thursdays on my other channel, where I talk about myself, what I'm going through that day. It's more like a vlog, it's unedited, and it'll just be about all these crazy things that I do, because besides teaching people about business and personal finance and self-improvement, I actually have this life where I'm an adventurer. I like to go outdoors and just experience everything about life, because as I mentioned, to me, this world that we live in is the most magical place ever. And I feel like I do a lot of these crazy things, or not crazy, but exciting things that a lot of people wish they could do. And I just want to share it with people. You know, I want to share it with my future self, because when I get to a certain age, I want to be able to look back at these videos and be like, hey, that was crazy when I did that. So if you want to see more of me, you could go ahead and check myself out on that channel. And that's it, guys. I think I covered enough about myself, this channel, what I plan on posting in the future. Hopefully these 5 W's were easy to follow along. But nonetheless, if you have any other questions that you want to know more about me, you can go ahead and follow me on my Instagram, follow me on my Twitter, which is the same as my Instagram, or just comment down below. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so. So besides that, class is dismissed.